Hello everyone, today we will be explaining the business cycle. The business cycle is the natural rise and fall in economic activity that an economy experiences over time. It shows how real GDP changes and is played through the graph like this one. On the y-axis we have real GDP and on the x-axis we have time. The black line in the middle shows average or potential output of an economy.
The red line of this graph is the actual output in the business cycle. This is approximated, meaning in the real world, it's not going to be this smooth, it's going to be jagged going up and down. And it normally follows a trend in an upward cycle that can take multiple years to complete. And there are four main components of this cycle, such as the expansion period, the peak, the recession, and eventual trough. And it all repeats over time.
So right now, we're going to talk about the expansion and peak. So expansion goes from here to here. This whole part is expanding. That's like the increase in all the GDP, more employment, there's more consumer confidence, so there you go, spending more into the economy, and then like their confidence grows. And businesses also invest more into the economy, into each other. There's more production and there's also more spending, and it ends up reaching a peak, which you can just label P for now. It's at the very highest point in the curve, so it's at obviously the peak. The economic activity, it's at its maximum, so everyone's spending more. Again, businesses are increasing, GDP is really high. The growth slows down after this, so you'll go into something we'll talk about as recessions and stuff, and then inflation may also rise at this point, just so it can level out the economy.
Alright, the next part of the graph is the recessionary gap, or period. So the recession is technically everything after the point of the peak. So this is where the slope of the real GDP is anything negative. So the real GDP is decreasing this entire way down, and people normally don't actually feel it until the point of inflection though. So this is where the slope is the deepest, or steepest. So that makes it so unemployment rates are the highest, or increasing at the highest rate. Investments going down at the highest rate. Consumer spending is down at the highest rate. And that's usually where the typical recession starts to feel real. And this carries through and starts slowing down. It's still decreasing, but this is where it's at the lowest point. This is the through, and then at the through, it can't get any smaller than it already is, so it starts increasing.
We'll go through two multiple choice questions. Question one being, during which phase of the business cycle does unemployment typically decrease? Give you a minute to answer. Answer is A. This is because the expansion phase is when the economy is growing, making businesses produce more goods and services to meet consumer demand. This causes businesses to hire more people, lowering the unemployment rate. Now for question two, which of the following can trigger a business cycle fluctuation? Give you a second to answer. It's D, all of the above. This is because, well, A, technical innovation boosts the productivity and can trigger growth. B, changes the aggregate demand or supply, which affects the prices and employment. And then C, shifts the monetary, fiscal policy, influence spending, investment, and interest rates.
Thank you everyone for listening.